Today is June 16th, 2024, and this is our weekly update on the ongoing war between Israel and the terrorist organization Hamas in the Gaza Strip. Shalom, my friends. This is the Kiva Gersh with Israel in 5, where we give you everything Israel in 5 minutes. Please like and subscribe, and if you have any questions or want to keep the conversation going, please do so below in the comments. Last night, those who came out of Shabbat heard very, very different news than the week before. Just a week ago, coming out of Shabbat, we heard the incredible news of the incredible rescue mission that freed 4 Israeli hostages from Hamas bondage in the Gaza Strip. An incredible feat, an incredibly risky endeavor, and absolutely and completely successful. This past week, this past Saturday night, last night, we came out of Shabbat hearing very, very different news. Unfortunately, the death of 8 soldiers who died in the southern region of Gaza in RAFAH as they were leaving all night fighting against Hamas gunmen, a battle and a mission that was very successful, killing around 50 Hamas terrorists in the battle, and they were coming out of that in a convoy around 5 in the morning to get their well-deserved and earned rest. And unfortunately, one of these armored vehicles was targeted, explosives placed on it in some kind of way. The details are still being clarified and figured out, and those inside killed, unfortunately, 8 soldiers as a result of this terrible incident in the southern part of the Gaza Strip. And that's how we came out of Shabbat just last night. Devastating news, horrible news, the worst incident for the IDF soldiers in many, many months in the Gaza Strip. This past week, many more details came out in terms of the 4 hostages who are freed, what they went through in their captivity and their bondage, the horrible conditions that they were kept in, the physical and psychological torture and beatings that they endured, the things that they were made to do. More and more details are coming out as the hostages themselves are speaking and going through interviews with medical and other professionals. And the story, while of course the whole country is celebrating their freeing, the details just make it harder and harder to bear the fact that there's still about 120 Israelis still kept in the Gaza Strip under Hamas's control as hostages, and just what they're going through, what they have been going through now for over 8 months. The fighting continues in the Gaza Strip, and the IDF continues to take over more and more areas and doing an incredible job in terms of that. But of course, this is a very, very long war, which is something that the political and the military leadership knew from day one. To date, 309 soldiers have been killed. A figure was just released the other day, this past week. Around 3,600 soldiers have been wounded as a result of the fighting since October 7th. An incredibly high number, many of them having lost limbs. This is something that the people of Israel, the nation of Israel, will be dealing with for a very, very long time, while they also know simultaneously that this is a war that we must fight. And as always, week after week, day after day, we give incredible thanks and gratitude to all of the soldiers who are fighting on the front lines, who are serving right now, whether in their active duty service or in the reserves, making sure that this war is a success for Israel, for the Jewish people. And we give incredible thanks and gratitude to all their families who are enduring this day after day, thinking about their loved ones inside Gaza, on the Lebanese border, actively fighting in a war that is easily, hands down, one of Israel's toughest wars. Talking about the northern border, things continue to get even worse on the northern border in Israel's continued fight against the Hezbollah terrorist organization out of southern Lebanon that started on October 8th, the day after the war with Hamas began, after the terrible attack on October 7th. Hezbollah is sending more and more rockets than ever. Many of these rockets, because of the now dry conditions in the north, because summertime has come, fires are starting left and right. Thousands and thousands of acres have been destroyed as a result of these missile attacks that have caused these fires across the north, Golan Heights, Upper Galil, Western Galil. Very, very intense. Many of these fires just literally like right outside on the outskirts of communities where people are still living. It's an intense situation up there. It's only getting more intense. And people are wondering what will be with that. Will this turn into a full-out war with Hezbollah? Time will tell, but it seems like from the situation and also things that the upper military leadership has said over the past few weeks, that is getting only more and more likely that will be what will happen on the northern border with Lebanon, with this ongoing conflict with Hezbollah. In the Red Sea, the Houthi terrorist organization continues to target and hit ships and terrorize boats in those waters as they try to continue trade as normal as possible, but that hasn't been very normal in many, many months since the Houthis started doing what they've been doing there in support of Hamas and what they have done to Israel and in the Gaza Strip. Continues to be a multi-front war, very complicated, very complex, but at the same time, Israel continues to move forward with great successes, unfortunately, losses, and that's a devastating part of war. But Israel is meeting a lot of its goals of dismantling the Hamas terror organization in the Gaza Strip and taking away their ability to ever again hurt another Israeli. And please God, that day will come very soon when we're done with that war with Hamas and they've been completely neutralized, as well as Hezbollah in the north. And again, as I always like to say every week, we thank you for your continued support, your blessings, your thoughts for Israel, especially the soldiers, especially the hostages and their families. And we just send all of our prayers out to the continued protection of the soldiers, gratitude towards them and their fighting, and our deepest prayers for the return of all the hostages so soon, and love and support to their families who await their return every single day. All the best and be well.